Hey collectors, so today we have a new Figma for you, and this is number 401. Now I'm not going to pronounce the name because I know I'm going to get it wrong, but this is from the Alice Gear series, and I actually got to admit this kind of piqued my interest as soon as I saw it, because I love mechs and I love like robots and stuff like that, so this was a perfect thing to actually get. So let's open up. There's this whole massive window display is amazing. You see exactly what you're going to get, and there's going to probably be some more features and more stuff that we miss. So we can see that you get the figure here, you get the two different faces, you get the hair, you get different legs, so obviously you can change it about, and you get these sorts of things here. On the side, you see what the figure looks like without all the stuff, and on the back, you get a ton of stuff, and I've got to admit, this is actually amazing. So you can see all the different poses that she can be put in, that she can do, and the accessories. Now, if you can do half of those things, let's see. If not, then we'll find out in this review. So obviously here you got what she looks like normally. On the top, another picture of her, and at the bottom, another picture of her. So let's open up this bad girl and have a look inside. In this, you get a ton of stuff. First of all, here you get the figures, which we've just gone through, and then also you get the kind of the extra stuff. You get the effects, and then you get the weapons. Now, I'm not a huge fan of this because I don't think, to some degree, not unless it's a model kit, that you should have to build things, because if you get it wrong, you get it wrong. And also you get like the kind of different things like the stands, you get some sort of blue effect as well, so that's going to be interesting, and then you get the different things there. But mainly this is what I'm not happy about, but we're going to try and build some, as it falls over, we're going to try and build some of this, so yeah, let's just jump straight into it. And here she is. I've got to admit, I had to put the stand on because I know what these figures are like. As soon as they fall over, these sorts of parts that are giant parts or anything like that will just literally break, and I don't want this. So the stand's going to help us stay there. So I really like the cat ears. The pink hair looks absolutely stunning and draws you in on this one. I really like her eyes because they match the actual figure itself. And then again, we've got her kind of like clothing. So we've got these like parts here. I don't know. I've heard that they do and don't come off, or they're defective or something from the company. I don't know, but if you know, let me know down below in the comments. The kind of leather gear she's got, the kind of like the jacket works really well, and then again you've got the kind of like necklace just there, and then you've got the kind of thing that goes around her chest. Kind of moving down to the kind of midriff here, you can see her belly button, and again her kind of lower part is very muscular, and yeah, it looks kind of cool. So here you've got the kind of metal parts, or the kind of like parts that work with the costume. I really like that when you look here, it's really etched into it properly. It's on both of them, yep, so you just basically just move the hand, and then when you move them, like I'm guessing she's maybe a robot. I really like the joints here because they actually look mech parts. When we come down to these parts, these are sharp, believe me. So just be careful. Now, one thing with the figure is that there is a gap, so you either have to put it down like that so it joins up, because when she goes up like that, so I'm guessing that's when you're able to change the legs. But basically, just push it down just like that, and you should be fine. Now, these parts do come off. When I was taking the plastic off, these like did fall off, or maybe these parts here. So just be careful when you're removing like the plastic that wraps around her. Now, I really love these sort of shoes. These are possibly my favorite ones that we've had so far. They just look absolutely stunning. They're sharp, so just be careful, because obviously when you start moving them about, it's going to be a bit of pain, and I don't want you to get hurt. So you've got the kind of like just here as well, these sorts of blades coming out, or whatever they are, they're also kind of sharp too. But I kind of really like this. This reminds me of Black Lotus, I think, or the Black Queen from Airlim World. Okay, so for now, I'm going to hold on to the figure when we look at the back. So it does stand up, but I'm being very careful. Now, I really like the back here. I really like the design work. I think it works really well. I like her shoes. Obviously, she stands up. And obviously, I'm guessing you can add things like the special effects just there into the legs. I think that will work. Now, I really like the ball joints, the color that blends in with the black. So it's kind of like a navy kind of blue, which we'll see in a minute. We can see along these as well that there is actually like markings, and it's actually well detailed. As I mentioned before, here is the navy blue just there, And then we can see the white and the black works really well. I'm guessing that she'd be wearing leather pants because you can see it just around her bum. You can see that they've got markings in there as well. And again, all the mech parts right there too. Now this is one thing I generally really like. When looking at the back here, we can see here you've got the blue to make it look more leathery, and I actually generally like that. It reminds me of many different like clothing, leather jackets that actually have it. Now I really like these things here. They kind of really stand out, and they do move around. So I don't know if it's loose, or if that's on purpose, or if it's just due to the hair, but we can adjust it. You get one on that side. Now I really love these. This looks really cool, and they kind of really stand out. So you can move them a little bit too, so that kind of gives it a little bit extra. So yeah, I actually generally really like this. With all figures, we actually see how they are articulate and how they all work, so it's kind of the stress test. So let's have a look. Now, the boots kind of, actually they bend back really, really well. I generally thought they would just be very kind of stiff, but no, they move forward as well, so I really like that. That works really well. Now, let's try bending it. Oh, okay, so I didn't notice this underneath, but this is really cool. Even the detail on that, oh, that's awesome. So it does bend back. Just be careful, because when I'm moving these, it does feel like it's catching. So just be careful. But yeah, more detail on that one. It looks really cool. I don't really want to move the legs around too much, but you can move them around. You get white stripe down there. And then, oh, I even missed this. I didn't realize the red there. That looks fine. That's good. I like the whole color matching on this is absolutely perfect. So it's very delicate doing this. Just make sure that you don't go too overboard. So it moves up and down. Arms. This is like one of the most delicate Figmas that I've had. I don't particularly want to do too much. So the arms do move like so, and then you do that. So there's the head, it moves around just like so. So it does have a lot of articulation, but just be careful because you don't want to kind of break it. Let's have a look at her different faces. Now you do get a kind of blank hair, basically that doesn't have these on. So to do it, you take these off. So just be careful because they are quite fragile. So we can see here, we just take the front of the hair off. Again, that's actually quite packed in there. So let's add in. Now be careful because you don't want to damage here at the basically the whatever they are, the blades. Now you do get kind of long. Oh, is it long hair? No, it's roughly the same. So we can put the ears back on, but not too heavy. So that's a I'm angry or I'm having a go at you face. So, take this off. Part of me just really wants to rip it off and like, but I'm being careful because I don't want to damage the figure. So once it's in there, damn, it doesn't want to come out. Okay, so you have to be really careful because it does click in, which is good. So let's just put that back on there. Oh, it's a happy face. And then just there. So that's kind of really cool. I really like that face. That's my favorite one. So let's take these off, and then let's also apply the different heads so we can see exactly if there's any main difference. Now I'm going to say this is really weird because you get this sort of joint. Now I've read the instructions and it just says like you get another piece something later. It says by using part F joint, the head can be put and be replaced with the Magni device series. The image of the Alice Gear blah 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 sold separately. So I don't know if this is something where you're meant to take this out so you can replace it, because when looking at the hair, like, the only main difference is taking these parts out. So I'm guessing because it's blank there's nothing, like, so you can just have normal hair. It's just very weird that you'd have a different joint there. So maybe you just pull that out and then you just replace it with that one, but with that. But to be fair, I don't particularly want to spend hours or whatever, or like trying to take it all out and then messing it up. So yeah, like, even when, say we just put the face on, so move that down, and in that one, and then add the hair. So you can see that it's pretty much exactly the same type thing. So it's just basically she doesn't have the things coming out of her head. So you can have that if you wanted to. When you get the figure, you can obviously take the arms and legs off. If you want to add in different legs that you get, you can do. You get different arms, so you can take off all the armor. So let's have a look at what it looks like without the armor. Just by adding the normal arms and the normal legs, I've got to admit, it makes the figure look better. And I'm digging the kind of blades at the top, rather than just having a normal like head. I think it gives it more character. But I really like the fact that they've given you these options, so it's not just taking parts of armor off or anything like that, but here you get everything that you need. So this does kind of give it more life. It's mainly for the legs, it's kind of like a smooth plastic, and then the arms are exactly the same, just without the extra kind of armbands there. With these sorts of parts here, that they came kind of attached like a model kit, and I really don't like it when companies do this. If it's a model kit, that's absolutely fine, because I understand that. But when it turns into a whole thing of like buying a figure, you should, either have these in a separate plastic thing so you can put them back in normally, because now these don't actually have a place to fit in the box and they'll be loose, and I don't like that. So I've put the weapons together. Now be careful when looking at the instructions, not in English, but on the blade here, make sure that when you're taking your figure out, don't cut that part out, because that basically connects to that one. So just be really careful. You also get a gun here, and there's a small part, like a circular part. Be careful, because that will have a part that sticks in there. So make sure that you're really careful. Look at the instructions and make sure that you go through it and don't kind of break the part or anything like that, because it will be a shame and it's annoying. So I don't know why Figma are doing this. I hope this isn't going to be a thing that they do. I hope that they learn and go, oh shit, not going to do this. But let's look at the weapons. So this is the gun that she has, and it looks kind of cool. I really like the kind of the faded yellow kind of like cream effect. Both sides are exactly the same. The sword, I've got to admit, is the one thing that really kind of drew me. So this looks really cool. I really like the circular blade. I also like it looks like a really cool weapon, and just there is, it's not part of the sword, so it's kind of separate. So I really do like that. It looks awesome. Now I don't know what these are, but I'm guessing these are more kind of weapons that she has. So I'm going to be looking at the instructions how it all works. But I think that these look really kind of cool, like if she dual wields them. So yeah, I'm glad that they added them in, but I'm not a big fan of how they actually distributed them, should I say. Adding on the extra parts, I really generally like these. These look like lasers. They look like they would do a hell of a lot of damage. But yeah, just the way that they add, I love like this sort of design, or they could be pets. Either way, I think they just look cool. Like, you have to add the blue stand. I thought this would be extra stuff that you would add onto the figure, but you literally just do things like that. And I'm sure you can add extra stuff to it. No, you can't. I thought that you could put things on here to kind of make them stand out a bit more, like kind of like flames, or you could add them down here instead. But it looks like they're meant to be kind of rockets, so you can adjust it. Just be careful with it. It does kind of click a little bit, so you could actually have them as something like extra engines or whatever they're designed for. If you know what they're designed for, let me know down below in the comments, but I generally think they hold lasers and stuff like that. But yeah, I actually really like it, and I kind of really wanted to add this onto the figure so you could actually have a look. I added the two weapons. The sword works really well. I think that is a great one, but the blade, the gun, you have to really either get it spot on or it points down. And I don't particularly like that. So for me, I don't think that I'll be adding the gun to it, but I do like the sword. I think it does look awesome. So now I'm going to add in these things, and we're going to have a look at how they look at. Okay, so I kind of really wanted to do it. Sorry about the space at the top, but adding these weapons, they're kind of cool. I really like the fact that you could really pose this in a way that looks amazing. So like you could have the arm up there, like the lean in for the attack. But adding these sorts of weapons is awesome. I really kind of think it's really cool. The only thing that's going to annoy me until I can get some proper equipment are like the kind of like the blades and how they all are. Like they're rough and I kind of really want to sand them down, but I'll kind of work on that at some point. But kind of adding these sorts of things really gives more to the actual figure. I generally think it's cool, and it's definitely one that I would highly recommend. So we're going to wrap this video up. I'm going to jump into the next scene and then talk about more of this figure. My kind of thoughts and reaction. This is a beautiful figure. I really like it. I think it's possibly an okay one that I own. I think you can put her in a lot of different poses with her weapons, how she reacts, and especially like when you get these cool things at the back which really make it stand out. When I saw the kind of promotional picture, I was like, yeah, need to have this straight away. Will say one thing, all these pointed parts, be careful, because if you're trying to get them in the right pose, then you don't want to kind of like push down, because it will hurt, and that's it. Now, I generally kind of wish that these weapons weren't in like these things, like to hold them. I think that now there's no way of actually placing them anywhere, so I may use one of the bags to kind of like wrap it up to make sure that they're okay. Now, even though these are light and hollow, I do think that the hands really can't hold them up, and that's a big kind of shocker. I thought that the arms or the joints would be a little bit stronger, but they're not. So they kind of like, after a while, they dip down. So if you're going to pose them, make sure that the arm is in the right place, as well as the weapons, and you don't want them to kind of fall off or break the figure over time. I will be collecting more of these as they come along, because I generally think they're really, really cool. I just think that maybe with the head, one thing that did kind of annoy me is, now maybe I got it wrong, maybe I could pull out part of the plug to put her normal head on, but I think rather than going down the road of having two parts, I think you should just be able to have another peg in it, and then you can just place it in. That's the only thing that kind of really got to me. So I kind of really wish that you had more pegs. It would be easy, but now I just have to fiddle around if I wanted to have like kind of normal hair and not have these like kind of extra parts. But apart from that, it's a nice figure. I would highly recommend getting it, and I can't wait to see more of what they bring out, because I will be collecting the range. So collectors, what are your thoughts on this? Are you going to collect them? Are you not? Do you like this figure? Do you not? You know, that sort of thing. What are your thoughts on it? Let me know down below in the comments. So if you've liked this video, like, favorite, comment, and consider subscribing. Check that cheeky notification bell for more videos. And as always, collectors, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in a bit.